Today is July 21st, 2024. We are at Malcom X Park. My name is Daniel Kerr. Could you tell us your name?
My name is Vernon Suggs.
Could you tell me about your connection to this park?
Well, this park literally was like my playground when I was coming up, because I was raised right around here. Monroe Street, Belmont Road, Riggs Street, Riggs Place, V Street. This was where I was raised. This park was where we came almost on a daily basis. If we didn't come to walk through here to get to the other side of 16th Street or to the skating rink over there, or come, it's like on a daily basis I encountered this park, along with, the concerts, the people, all the events they would have here, practically year long. I mean, every day there used to be, if not every day, every weekend, they would have something up here for the community in this park. I mean, and it's, even though it ceased for a while, it looked like they're trying to bring stuff back like that for community, because that's what it's about. It's a beautiful park, and for years I didn't know this was like the front yard, or for the people who, I think their family used to own the Washington Post or something. What was her name, Graham or somebody? Whoever it was, they lived down here on where the complex is. We used to call that Castle Hill. That's where we would go to catch snakes.
Yeah.
Black snakes, garden snakes. That was the thing,
Wow.
But this was their front yard, and they opened it up.
Castle, is that?
It was a castle there. They did live in a beautiful castle, but they tore it down and built a condominium, very expensive community down there.
Okay, I hate to do this to you, but I'm gonna ask you, like, when were you raised? Like, what decade are we talking about?
Oh, we talking about, I was born in 58.
58, so early 60s.
And we talking about 60s, 70s,
I see.
and the 80s.
And so,
And there's a lot went on in the 90s, went up through here, so.
Okay.
And here I am in the 2000s, I'm
Yes.
still here, so.
Yes.
We're doing a workshop, so.
So when you, let's see, if you can take us back to the 60s, pre-68, what was this park like?
Well, it was lusher. The greenery was. They kept the greenery up more.
Everything was green.
Yeah, the fountain was running all the time. They kept the fountain sort of pristine, and the water was bright, right, and you could actually just watch the fountain. You could, sometimes kids would just play at the bottom of the fountain, just wade in the fountain. And you had all type of activities, people playing, kids playing. On the weekends, they would have concerts. You might come here and see War. You might see the group War. You might see Ashford and Simpson here. You might see, I'm sure they had this park. They had Earth, Wind and Fire. They had Stevie Wonder. They did free concerts. Somehow the Park Service or one of the organizations, nonprofit organizations, worked something out to have them come and do a concert, free concert for the people. Of course, a lot of people who wouldn't have been able to afford it otherwise. But it was beautiful. It was a lot of that people intermingling, people having fun, running. It was bustling. The activity here was bustling.
And who were the park goers? How would you describe them?
They were, they were all nationalities that lived around here. It was the community.
The community.
Everybody would come. I mean, at that time you had, with the concerts and stuff like that, you had a lot more poor black people that would come because they were disadvantaged to being able to go to the concerts. But everybody came. There was no distinction. I mean, because at one time, this was only Caucasian people came to this park.
When you were younger, or?
Right before.
Okay.
Yeah, in the 50s and 40s. You didn't come, we wouldn't, because it was more so for, like I said, it was like their playground. The family that owned this property at one time.
And so by the time you were a child, that it was kind of opening up to all different folks.
Oh yeah, because by that time I believe they had donated it to the federal government. Yes.
And do you?
Or they acquired it through some trust or something like that. I think they have a plaque up.
Okay.
One of the plaques tells about that, I believe.
And tell me about. So you started to learn how to drum in the 1960s.
Oh yeah.
What year was that?
Oh, 60. Well, basically 70, 72.
72. So you were.
That was through the new thing, yeah.
14 by then.
Yeah.
So 13, 14.
No, well, younger than that. When I was 9, I began.
Okay, so
Right.
58, so that'd be about 67-ish.
Right, 67 or something like that.
See.
Yes.
Hey, and tell me about what was the importance of the drum to you?
For me, wow, it was quite a few things important. It was an outlet. It was expression, being able to express myself, being able to entertain people, being able to become somebody other than a little poor, little black kid roaming the streets, roaming the community, getting in trouble. And it gave me a source of identity and something to attach to, to be a part of.
And what was that? What was that movement? That part of?
It was a part of trying to reach or to address the poverty, the drug epidemic back in the 70s, the homelessness back in the 70s. A lot of poor people, black people, back in the 70s. A lot of programs that were just beginning to take shape to help people, and just awareness, awareness and identity. It was like it's like they open up a can of activity and resources were beginning to bubble up to help and to allow people to attach to become better and to build their esteem and to become somebody, because you had a lot of people, a lot of hopelessness back then. A lot of the families, and I mean, they have a lot of pictures. I don't know if you all have the pictures, but they have a lot of pictures of even the families right on 18th Street. When they sit on the porch, they would have the nice houses, but you know, you could tell that the lack of going into those, looking at those pictures, that those families were struggling. They were, you know, so.
So it was kind of like about a transformation of consciousness, or like
Yes, yeah, that's exactly. People learning who they were, their potential, and their ability to rise above, and where to go to find, how to go about finding the resource, taking advantage of them. And the government was forming, was you know, becoming aware of this. And the people were taking advantage of the new programs that were coming. You know, the HUD programs, the Department of Employment Services, which was a different name at that time. You know, the different programs where you could go and you could eat breakfast. The Black Liberation, the Panthers, the New Thing, Ontario Lakers, you know, just for this part of the city. You had people just trying to help other people less fortunate. I remember all that, and a lot of the events that they gave were right in this park. This was their staging ground for a lot of stuff. Yeah.
And who taught you how to draw?
Well, it was through the New Thing, Art and Architecture Center, which was founded by Topper Carew, which I'm hoping everybody know about by now with the recent upsurge in attention and bringing Topper's been back to the city several times, and they honored him for that, rightfully so. Him and Eric Ravat was my direct instructor, if you want to say so. Melvin Deal, Tony Williams, Tony Green, Barnett Williams. I mean, it was so many people, the Friday brothers, all of them I learned so much from each and every one of them, you know.
And what were their sources of inspiration? Where, you know, drumming is obviously got so many different traditions. Where were they drawing their tradition?
From the African diaspora at that time, and the blackness movement. You know, learning your roots, and a major part of the roots in terms of the music for Africans, even back in Africa before they were brought over to this country. The drums were a form of communication for them, and still today, when you learn how to drum, you can communicate. And the sound of the drum, it carries. I could play, and if you cross many blocks away, if you listen, you could hear the drums. You could hear them. So, and it was form of communication and expression, you know, tell your story. I mean, convey your feelings. There's so many things that I can do with a drum that you can do with a drum once you learn the language of the drum, the core part of the drum, the three different tones that And but that's a different story because that's what the workshops today are about.
And I know you're going to do that workshop, but
Yes.
what are some of those tones and what are the particular beats you were learning and who were you?
Well, we were learning.
The languages of the drum.
Well, we were learning a lot of West African beats. We learned Mozambique beats. We learned beats from Ghana, Nigeria. Melvin Dio, he traveled back to Africa, and he went and he studied among those people. Something I would love to do. I mean, even at my age, I would love to go to Africa and do the same thing he did and bring that stuff back and share it with young people, young people of the world. That's what Melvin did, and but we learned how they use drums, the rhythms that they played in a somber setting, like a funeral. We call it a funeral, but they look at it more so like moving on to the next stage, going to be with the ancestors, who of course would be right there with them spiritually, and they wanted to make sure they pleased them with the music too, as well as convey what was going on to the people that came to honor this person in their passing. What we know is death. We call it death, but it's just passing on to the next stage. I believe that because I for 1 minute I don't believe that whatever you believe or whoever you believe, where you came from, creation or whatever, it was just for this realm here. We're too beautifully and wonderfully made to just be for this. It's got to be something else. Because you got such a sweet spirit, Dan. No, you think it just ends here? I mean,
so that drum also crosses over that.
Oh yeah. And that was
ancestral.
Right. And that's the thing. One of the things that I teach when I do lessons, depends on what level you are. Then we try to go to the spiritual level. We go to the spiritual level, and we tap in. We attempt to tap into the spirit, because drumming is spiritual. Because sound is universal. Sound waves go. I mean, and ancestor drumming for, to please, to contact their ancestors. That's what it's all about. Hello. That's what it's all about.
So the languages of the drum are very based on the context of the moment and the occasion and
the time signatures.
Kinds of things you're communicating.
Yes. Yes.
And what you're tapping into.
Yes.
And so understanding that language.
Yes. And how to tap into that language. And that's what learning a different bass tone pop, that type of thing.
So what, when you come here to the drum circle.
Yes.
And you've been here many years, I assume.
Yes, I've been coming to the drum circle. Matter of fact, my teachers, we were instrumental in starting it. Many years ago, a lot of people, you have the modern day drum circle, but when I was a kid, we used to come here and play drums. We'd sit on the bench and play drums. I mean, we would rehearse up here sometimes for shows and, like I said. And we did shows up here many times. Melvin.
Wow. And
Yeah.
do you feel that those kinds of, the language of the drum, has that Has that changed over time here at the drum circle, the drumming?
No, I mean,
You see the continuity there?
yes, drums. Hey, drums are drums. They'll never change. Just different types of drums.
I see.
And I'm learning that even in other cultures, when they bring their drums and they sit in a circle,
Yes.
hey, their drums can cross over just like any other drum. There is communication, form of communication, and the language, you know, and that's just how it is. I mean, you transcend different languages with music, with the drums. Because with the drums, it's only one language, and that's unity. And
I see. I see. And what's your preferred drum or preferred drums?
Well, I'm a drummer, so I play all drums. I challenge all drums. I've studied on many different types of drums. The traps, the Congo, Quito, Tumba, talking drums, kettle drums. Wow. I mean, I've played just about every drum I could get my hand on. Some of them I couldn't even pronounce the name of, but they produce the sound, and that's what I loved about it. It was the drum. So, yeah.